Yes, yes, and yes, it's that time of the morning again where we're going cuckoo on the Crack of Dawn show. Good morning, everybody. All right. Well, you are currently streaming live with us on Attenville TV. This is the Crack of Dawn show with myself, Kimera, Heeralal, as your host. And if you want to interact with us in studio today, please do so with the contact details which you'll find at the bottom right of your screen, or you can use the bottom column where it says live chat and interact with us. We've got Alan Murugan coming in on YouTube this morning. He says good morning, and then we've got Ramesh Niparachi saying good morning, honey. Morning, sleepyheads. Okay, I know a lot of you are on leave now. Some people are closing today because tomorrow's a holiday and all of that jazz. So good morning to all of you and happy festive season. Woo! It's that time of the year again when people are going to call me 2 o'clock in the morning. They're in trouble. They're in a car accident. They're in this. I had a lot of party friends. So yeah, you can imagine what I've been through every single festive season, year in, year out. So do me a favor, do yourself a favor. Please stay safe. Like, be responsible in everything that you're doing. I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm saying stay safe and don't call me 2 o'clock in the morning if you know me. And he put it coming in on Facebook. He says, good morning, honey. All right. So as usual, we got a jam-packed show for you. We open up the show with a little bit of Whack It Simpson with these senseless surveys. We got lots of music coming up, as well as, some terrifying times, people. I don't know if you guys know about this one, but have you ever been a witness to somebody waking up at their own funeral? Weird one, huh? But hey, stay tuned for that as we got a full jam-packed show just for you to laugh, cry, get scared. I don't know, I got some news for you as well about Elon Musk. Well, everybody knows how well he's doing, so he's probably the richest man in the world. We'll talk about that when we get back. Straight after this commercial break.
Put a spell on you. Because you're mine. Oh, because you're mine. Because you're mine.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, you are currently streaming live with us on Attenville TV. Yeah. This is the Crack of Dawn show with myself, Kimera, Heeralal, as your host. And if you want to interact with us in studio today, please do so with the contact details that you'll find at the bottom right of the screen, or you could use the bottom column and use live chat. All right, so guys, if you want to just join us and wish somebody a happy birthday, please do, because I'll do the singing for you. So happy birthday to whoever is celebrating a birthday today. May you see many, many more. God bless. And as promised, coming up next, our Whack It Simpson senseless survey. Check him out.
No more takers on the WhatsApp telephone. You can win something really lekker, but this is where I phone up a random person and I ask them a fantastic bunch of questions, all pertaining to the goodwill and the sake of this country.
It's got a sell there.
I think I overcooked it just a little bit.
You are our only hope, Darren.
Okay. Here is this morning's senseless survey.
Welcome to Good morning, just PM.
I'm Agent 31926. I'm calling you from the Census Bureau. I need to ask you a few questions for your country.
Fine, things, how are you doing, sir?
To conserve water, have you ever just washed the 2 fingers that you use when you go to the toilet?
No, man. I'm trying to understand what you mean by that, sir.
How can Old Spice be my favorite deodorant, yet my worst Spice Girl?
I'm sorry to say, sir, but I'm not interested on the question. I'd rather focus on what you really wanted from me.
Okay. Well, look, what I want to do, I want to open up a nightclub called Mullet, right? You understand?
I'm listening.
It's a secret nightclub built in the rear of a hardware store where people have to walk through the business in the front to get to the party at the back.
How is it in connection with the hotel then?
Do your friends refer to you as Mr. Know-It-Some?
So I'm not sure where you're getting to with that.
Hello. Who are we speaking to?
You're speaking to Agent 4193762.
Oh my word.
Would you like to watch a montage of all the high fives that you have missed in your life?
No. Would you?
Now that you're an adult, how often do you run with scissors just because you can?
I don't know. I can't say. I do sometimes though, hey? Because I can.
Are you rebellious enough to use a beach towel in your bathroom?
Yes, I do. I do.
Do you think you have finally arrived when you have a waiting room in your house?
Not really.
And if you think you're lonely, what about teenage magicians?
What? Oh, man.
Yeah. If makeup sex is the best part of getting into a fight, why has EFC never broadcast that portion of the event?
God, I don't know, hey. I don't know.
Wow. You got a 2-for-1 special there, Darren.
Wouldn't you like to watch that? Do you know what I would like to see with UFC, EFC? It was like the seniors division.
You want the Omas and the Opas to come for one another.
How fantastic would that be?
Like a 65 up category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you get seniors in almost every other sport. There's seniors golf. There's soccer. They have the 50s plus playing the match.
Yeah.
Why not EFC? Every fight, I think
They're brittle hips, Darren.
I think every
Oh,
fight.
there goes the good knee.
Wouldn't it be fair? I think every fight would be a death match.
Oh, there goes the hip. Oh, there goes the other hip. No, man. Let them rest. Oh.
The count would have to be like 60 seconds. Guys, let's invent some new sports here. Coming to Goodwood, to Grand West. EFC 60 plus.
Wackett Simpson, my personal favorite radio presenter of all time, right here on Actionable TV. I told you guys, every morning I'm going to make you guys laugh just by dipping into Wackett Simpson's pranks every single morning. Hope you guys enjoy that one. Now, as all of you are going into the festive season, right? Not everybody's on leave, I know, but we are all going into the festive season, whether you're on leave or not. So now, if you're a like movie fundi, and if you're just like me, something that just comes out, you just want to get your hands on it and you want to watch it, whether you're doing it through Soap Today or any illegal sites or whatever, not everybody has the money to go to the movies. Okay, so just a quick sneak peek. For those of you who don't know or do know, Scream, the most popular horror ever of all time. I love the first couple of Screams, and then they just went a little haywire with it, especially after they took out Sydney and put other characters in there. Now, just a quick one for you guys to know what's coming up. The Scream, well, you know how many Screams there are, right? Scream 6 trailer, Ghostface attacks returning on cast in New York City. Now, the first teaser for Scream, well 6 and 7, they're saying 7 debuts, revealing the first glimpse at the next chapter in the story of surviving characters from Scream 2022. I don't know if you guys seen it already. Well, the official trailer for the Scream 6 has been released, for those of you who don't know. And the film, which is now officially titled Scream 7. Yeah. So now let's take a look at Scream 6 first, right? So Scream 7 is also officially being titled Scream 6, and it's basically the direct sequel to Scream 2022. That's what they called it, right? Now the meter slasher requel, okay, that combined the legacy cast members with a new crop of young members, and it's got young survivors as well, including Jenna Ortega, who's Tara Carpenter, okay, and Melissa Berrera, as well as Sam Carpenter and Jasmine Sauve Brown, as well as Mindy Meeks. You guys know Mindy Meek. And not forgetting Mason Gooding as Chad Meeks Martin. Other cast members that will be returning in the 6th film, including Courtney Cox. Yes! Oh man, that woman made Scream. She made it what it is. She's a super character. I love her. Courtney Cox from Friends. Yeah, well, she'll be there as well. And she acts as Gail Weathers there, as you guys know, if you are a big fan of watching Scream. And there's also Hayden Panettiere as her Scream 4 breakout character as Kirby Reed, right? And consummate final girl Neve Campbell will not be returning as Sydney Prescott, which was my favorite character. Obviously, she's the main character. But hey, I miss Sydney, yeah? Do you want to die tonight, Sydney? All right. So, as the actress has reported, she was offered too late and little compensation for her appearance. So today, Paramount actually unveiled the first official teaser for Scream 6 online after it debuted theoretically, in the theater. And looking at, firstly, certainly not being there is the worst thing that could ever come to a Scream fan's ears, which is me. I'm upset that she's not going to be there. But they do say in front, they're going to have Damlin Chazlin's Hollywood epic Babylon. Now, the teaser highlights the film's New York City setting by showing off one major scene set inside a subway car. Right now, it's also been a Halloween night, and nearly everyone is crowded. They're crowded in the car, and the car is dressed. Everyone that's in the car is dressed in their costumes as usual. If you're going to a Halloween party, and this is including several who are dressed as Ghostface. I don't know if you guys know the character Ghostface. Now, as Sam looks on, one Ghostface in particular seems to have its eye on her. Now, check out the trailer if you can go on Google. Scream 6 coming out. We got Cassigan Padachi coming in. Good morning, Uncle Cassigan. How are you? Thanks for joining the show this morning. For those of you who are big fans of horror movies, have you watched the trailer of Scream 6? If not, have you watched the movie? I know a lot of people have a lot of sites that they go to see movies before they even hit the theater. Let us know if you do have a favorite scary movie. Please do drop us a WhatsApp on 074-660-5829. You'll find the contact details at the bottom right of your screen, or you could use the bottom column where it says live chat. I'd like to know your personal favorite scary movie if you are into horror movies. Alan Murugan, Ramashni Padachi, Andy Puran, Cassigan Padachi, interact with me in studio today. Let me know if you have a favorite scary movie that you really enjoyed and wish could come back or continue. As we're going along with the show, we're going to come back with some Rice Entertainment. As you're still thinking about that, we're going to come back straight after this commercial break.
The rich taste that says you've arrived. Uyingakar. Living a life of illusion. Leaving your finances on the rocks. In this world of Bazotina Bantu, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, you are currently streaming live with us on Actonville TV. This is the Cracker Dawn Show with myself, Kimera, Heeralal, as your host. And if you want to interact with us in studio today, please do so with the contact details at the bottom right of your screen, or you can use the bottom column where it says live chat. Now, before we cut to commercial, I ask everybody out there, what's your favorite scary movie? Okay, the killer doesn't ask it like that. He asks it like this. What's your favorite scary movie? I wouldn't make it as a villain or a bad guy, right? Look at his face. Yeah? All right. So as you guys are thinking about that and how to answer the question this morning, what's your favorite scary movie? If you are not an outdoorsy person and you like a good movie on the couch with a small blankie, I like a bowl of popcorn and some Coke, a tall glass of Coke with ice topped up to the top. And not forgetting my biltong cotton candy flavor, my favorite. And a good movie on good surround sound. Ramashni Padachi coming in on YouTube. I'm not really into scary movies, but I would watch Scream for Jenna. Oh, you like Jenna? Yeah! I love that chick as well. You know where I've actually got introduced to her character, or her, should I say, Disney. I don't know if you know the show called Stuck in the Middle. She's brilliant, you know? I love it. What I'm upset about, Ramashni, is that, you know, when you look at Scream, you think of Sydney Prescott. You think of, her real name in the world is Neve Campbell. But Sydney Prescott was the main character in Scream, and now they're going to the 6th the sixth time making this movie, and they're leaving the main character out, which is sad, and I don't like it. Neve Campbell should have done it just for us, the fans, man, the fans. Yeah, anyway, as everybody else is still thinking about their answers, Kim Parachi coming in on YouTube. Good morning, Auntie Kim. All right, Auntie Kim, what's your favorite scary movie? I'd like to know. All right. As you're thinking about that answer and typing it out, coming up next, just to keep you well entertained on this, I'll nearly say Choosy Tuesday, on this Pooza Thursday, a thirsty Thursday. Let's not be alcoholic about it, This is a family show. Behave yourself. All right. Dr. Victor and the Rasta Rebels are coming up with, two beautiful tracks mixing into one another. And Kim Padachi, I know you're an old school gal. One of them being Buffalo Soldier. Here is Dr. Victor and the Rasta Rebels.
Are you ready?
In the heart of America, stolen
Gay days, everybody feeling irate. Let me hear you say, ahoy! We're going old school from here. Dr. Vic and the Russell Rebels. Everybody having a good time so far? Thank you so much, Cape Town. We want everybody to sing loud and clear. Singing, oh, yo, yo. Singing, oh, yo, yo, say. Singing, hey, yo, yo. Are you singing?
Dr. Victor and the Rasta Rebels. Oh man, how was that throwback for this Throwback Thursday? Pom 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 pom. Alright, shout out to Kenny. Kenny is the bass guitarist of Dr. Victor and the Rasta Rebels. So shout out to him. He has personally sent us these videos to showcase talent right here on Attenville TV. So shout out to Kenny. All of my love goes out to you. Alright. So talking about our scary movies this morning, Rawashni Barachi comes in on YouTube saying, I know Jenna from the series Wednesday. I never watched that series. You know that though? Yo, okay. Kim Padachi coming in. She says, my brother annoyed me with the song. He would play it way too loud. Oh, yeah. Ah, did I just annoy you a little bit more, Auntie Kim? Buffalo soldier. Gone to America. Buffalo soldier. Let's leave it to Dr. Victor and the Rasta Rebels this morning. My mom always told me when I stand in the shower and sing loud, and I'll come out in the morning, every morning when I was staying at home, and she'd say to me, keep your day job, Kim. You know, you're a DJ. Just do that, you know. Singing, not your thing. All right. When you come back, we're going to talk about the most terrifying times where people actually woke up at their own funerals. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back straight after this. Welcome back, everybody. If you just tuned in, you're all streaming live with us on Attenville TV. This is the Cracker Dance Show with myself, Kimera, Heeralal, as your host. If you want to interact with us in studio today, please do so with the contact details at the bottom right of your screen, or you could use the bottom column where it says live chat. All right, so as promised, we are going to talk about, let's dip into an outside presenter who's actually becoming a resident presenter here. For those of you who don't know her name is Olivia Kosolovsky. Well, it's Kosolovsky. I don't know, however you pronounce it. But okay, today she's taking us through terrifying times where people actually wake up at their own funeral. How cool would that be? I've never experienced such. I've seen movies, yeah. But I've never experienced someone waking up from their coffin while you... Oh my God, hi. Welcome back. Oh no. Have you ever had an experience like this? I just gotta know. If you did, please share with us. I've seen it in a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie. I'll get the movie now. But it was a whole bunch of African American people at a funeral, and this dude woke up from his coffin. Can't remember the name of the movie. Guys, if you can help me out, but hey. Okay, so coming up next, Olivia, showcasing terrifying times. Check her out.
What an absolute nightmare these stories are. Caught between the utter elation of not being dead, but the horror of being at your own funeral? What a mess! Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have Gilberto Arroyo. This Brazilian man was pronounced dead back in 2012 after his body had been identified at the morgue by his brother. A terribly tragic story. Gilberto worked at a car wash in the town he lived in, and one day while at work there was a killing that took place. When the body arrived at the morgue, they had family of the staff come to try and identify who exactly had been killed, and unfortunately Gilberto's brother had the awful task of doing so. Flash forward to the day of the funeral, and the family members are standing alongside the coffin, mourning his death and lamenting how people could be so cruel. So imagine their surprise when Gilberto turns up at the door. Yeah, turns out that this was just a case of mistaken identity, and this killer had taken another employee's life, and the brother misidentified his own sibling as the victim. I'm not gonna lie, there would probably be a lot of confusing emotions in that moment. Gilberto himself was probably really glad to be alive and see how his family loved him, but he might want to keep an eye on his brother, who apparently has no idea what he looks like. In our number 9 spot today, we have Noella Rakundo. Back in 2016, this story made headlines as a resident of Australia returned home to attend the funeral of her stepmother. This is obviously very sad, but not abnormal, but the story quickly gets out of hand as, unbeknownst to her, her husband had some sinister plans. He arranged a hit on his own wife. His plan was meant to take place while she was traveling for the funeral, and those who were hired to carry out the plan even did grab her. However, these turned out to be very empathetic hitmen for their line of work because they realized what the situation was and that the hit was ordered by her own husband, so they felt a little bad and let her go. She returned home with a plan. At her own funeral, she planned to confront him and reveal his terrible plans and how they had failed. In the end, he was sentenced to 9 years in prison, which likely would have been a lot more should those men have not let the woman go. In our number 8 spot today, we have Walter Williams. Walter was 78 years old and living in Mississippi when, on February 26, 2014, he was pronounced dead. There of course is a system with these things, and Walter began going through these steps. There's paperwork completed, he was placed in a body bag, and he was taken to the funeral home to be prepared for his funeral. William, however, only made it as far as the embalming room when those with him got quite a fright. His legs started to move. The coroner then looked closer and saw that he was even breathing, just slightly. Walter was in fact alive. In a turn of events though, this new lease on life turned out to be short-lived, as just a little over 2 weeks later, he passed away, for real this time. His family even double-checked, just to be sure. In our number 7 spot today, we have Nikephoros Glykas. This is a man who was working as a bishop in Lesbos, Greece, when he was pronounced dead on March 3rd, 1896. Based on the traditions at the time, his body was then placed on display at the Methmony Church. This might seem like a strange practice, but in this particular story, it truly worked out for the best. On the second night of what is known as the exposition of the corpse, things drastically changed. It was on that night that the bishop just sat up. Apparently he even demanded to know what all the fuss was about. He was totally confused. Turns out he was asleep or something? I'm not entirely sure how no one knew he was in fact alive in this scenario, but in the end everything was fine and he continued on with his bishop duties until his true death date came. In our number 6 spot today, we have Edison Vicuna. This man from Ecuador has a story that starts when he went missing for 3 days and his family began to assume the worst. After these 3 days, there was a body of a man found who had been in a terrible car accident that left his face unable to be identified through those means. The man was taken by the authorities and a post-mortem examination was conducted, and this is when the body was confirmed to be that of Edison's. The family was of course distraught and began mourning their loss immediately, which included planning a funeral. As the day of the funeral came, the family members and loved ones were terribly sad and going through the motions before everyone began screaming in horror as Edison himself, very much alive, turned up to the funeral pretty drunk, too. The funeral was stopped and the body was returned to the morgue. As it turns out, Edison was in fact alive, and the body was later properly identified, and it belonged to someone completely different. In our number 5 spot today, we have the couple telepathy. There was an elderly couple who had been married for over 50 years, and they were so close, they joked about being able to hear each other's thoughts. I feel like Taylor can hear my thoughts already. I don't know, man. It's only been like a year and a half, but that man, he's a mind reader. Unfortunately, in this scenario, the woman fell ill, and after a couple days of being in a coma, she passed. Her husband was of course terribly upset over the loss of his life partner and had to be pried away from her. He became very distraught and began insisting that his wife was still alive. Even after she had been buried, he begged for her body to be exhumed, saying he had visions and dreams of her trying to get out of her coffin. After this went on for a while, they finally agreed to dig up the coffin in order to give the man some peace of mind, but when they opened the coffin, to everyone except for the man's surprise, they saw bloody scratch marks all over the inside of the coffin, and the woman's fingernails were bent backwards. Maybe they really could hear each other's thoughts. Either way, they definitely should have listened to him sooner. In our number 4 spot today, we have Figaliu Mkametsvdov. This Russian woman suddenly collapsed back in 2011 at her home following a heart attack. She was quickly rushed to the hospital, but soon after arriving, she was pronounced dead. A few days later, her body lay in a coffin at a funeral home as her loved ones gathered to pay their respects and say their final goodbyes. While everyone, including her, was really surprised when she woke up at her own funeral. As she lay in the coffin, she woke up, saw mourners around her crying, people praying for her, and she abruptly realized what was going on and she began screaming. She was quickly rushed back to the hospital where she only lived for an additional 12 minutes in intensive care before she passed again, this time permanently. It is clear that this entire ordeal took quite a toll because in the end, heart failure was listed as her official cause of death. In our number 3 spot today, we have Mohammed Rayan. After a government airstrike took the lives of over 100 people in Syria, Mohammed was identified as one of the casualties of the incident. He was inside of a local shop when the strike occurred and he was pronounced dead, although buried under the rubble of the blast. Hearing this tragic news, his friends and family began to plan his funeral and even went ahead with it without his body, because at that point it was unclear if it would ever be returned to them based on the size of this mass casualty. Well, those that loved him were in for quite a shock when Muhammad himself turned up to his own funeral. Turns out that Muhammad was in fact buried under the rubble, but he was alive. He was trapped for 36 hours before finding a way to free himself, and when he turned up at the funeral, he even still had debris on him. I can't even imagine what everyone there was feeling. The funeral undoubtedly turned into a major party. In our number 2 spot today, we have Hamdi Hafez Al-Nubi. Hamdi was working as a waiter in Egypt back in 2012, but one day at work he suffered a heart attack that ended up claiming his life. He was declared dead and his family took his body back home and washed it, which was a part of their traditions in order to prepare the body for burial at the end of the week. Later, when the doctor was called in order to officially sign the final death certificate, he noticed something strange. He began to examine Hamdi's body further, and this is when he noticed that not only was it still warm, but that he was still breathing. The doctor alerted Hamdi's mother, who was absolutely elated to find out this news. As far as I could find, it appears as though once recovered, Hamdi was totally fine, albeit probably a little shaken up after what he had just endured. In our number 1 spot today, we have the Countess Emma. This story starts off in 1761 when Countess Emma married the very wealthy Earl of Mount Edgecombe. Flash forward to a time when Emma met quite an untimely fate and she was pronounced dead. She ended up being buried, and her burial included her being laid to rest with a valuable ring. There was a church steward who had been spying on the family as this burial was taking place, and this little spy noticed this valuable ring and devised a plan to steal it. He returned under the cover of darkness, but when he went to snatch the ring, Emma is said to have awoken, cold, confused, and dressed in her burial shroud. The thief was fairly terrified and probably thought he was seeing a zombie, so he quickly fled the scene, never to be heard from again. Emma, however, made the half-mile journey back to her home, where everyone was absolutely shocked to see her alive. To commemorate this absolutely bonkers story, the estate where she once lived now has the Countess Path, which is a walkway dedicated to the journey that Emma took from the grave back home. In the end, Emma met her actual death in 1807. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!
Oh my god, so isn't it scary thinking that you could be buried alive someday? Well, could be. I mean, How many mistakes have people made that a certain person or certain someone is dead and then you see that they wake up and they're actually there? I'm feeling a little bit like queasy. Sorry. Woo! Imagine being buried alive. Shame. I mean, look at the guy that was, the lady that was buried alive, that was in love with her husband and whatever, and they felt that they could read each other's thoughts. So sad that her fingers were bent backwards trying to get out, scratch her way out of the coffin. It's just ridiculous. Oh my God. Oh, wow. All right, so thank you so much for that, Olivia. Your terrifying times where people wake up at their own funerals. Yeah. We'll come back soon after this commercial break.
Look at slide 4.
Becky, don't lose your cool. Think of the quarter pounder. It will taste like sunshine on a rainy day. Oh, so make it a day, the quarter pound away. Da 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 da.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, you are streaming live with us on Attenville TV. Yeah. This is the Cracker Down Show with myself, Kimera Heeralal, as your host. And if you want to interact with us in studio today, please do so with the contact details that you'll find at the bottom right of your screen. Or you could use the bottom column where it says live chat and join us. Okay, so because it's a throwback Thursday, let's throw it back a little bit more with, you guys know Sugar. Everybody knows Shaggy, right? Wasn't me. Wasn't me. I had a little in the shower. You know that one, right? Everybody knows that. Now here today put together by, you guys know Infinity from Sri Lanka, who we showcase all of the time. Shout out to Infinity. Today they're doing a bit of a shaggy medley. Here it is, coming up next.
Hey, come on. This is what you say. Open the door, man. What up, baby? 1, 2, alright. Honey came and she called me red-headed, creeping with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. How could I forget that I had given her an egg? All this time she was sending that she never took her out. Cause the water didn't broke when I saw your villa. This was on the bed, that's all that's happening on your villa. The rest of what I grabbed before she turned into a killer. So in the situation that you put up in her, to be a true play, we don't have to play. She said I might phone this or the other. Never admit to a word that she said. But if you came on, you tell her, baby, no way. Come on. But she told me on the counter. It wasn't me. Saw me banging in the sofa. It wasn't me. I even had her in the shower. It wasn't me. Even on me on camera. It wasn't me. Someone sold her. It wasn't me. On the one in the soda. It wasn't me. But the screams getting louder. It wasn't me. Even till the bar's over. Honey gave me that she come to red. Creeping with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. I tried to keep her from what she was about to do. Why should she really I told her to love her? So the things that never wrap away. Never you should see you make a chicken low flex. As funny as a flavor, you may not be complex. Believe it, so you better take the specs. She's a big enough picture from the past. What a little living that you better not be mad. Put your hands up, no off attack. But if you can't, you know, give it a run for us. Come on. She told me on the counter. It wasn't me. Saw me lying on the sofa. It wasn't me. I even had her in the shower. It wasn't me. Even told me on camera. It wasn't me. Someone bounced on my shoulder. It wasn't me. Another voice and I told her. It wasn't me. But the screams getting louder. It wasn't me. People tell me about us over. Honey gave me that she called me red-headed, creeping with the girl next door. Picture this, she was both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. How could I forget that I had given her an egg? All this time she was sending that she never took her out. How could I? I just lost my girl. I just lost my girl. I just lost my girl. Ooh.
Forget all this and let's be bombastic, man.
Say what? Bombastic. It doesn't matter if you lose a girl as long as you're bombastic. Shut. I say it done, 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 done. Make some noise in the flat. Yeah, Mr. Lover, lover. Mr. Lover, lover. Yeah, Mr. Lover, lover. Yeah, Mr. Lover, lover. You call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Making me back to sense of Mr. Romantic, tell me fantastic. Making me back to sense of Mr. Smooth, just like a silk up south. And I call a homie in black and wood. I'm a lyrical lover, protect me from the good. If I sexual pussy, come on, come on, hey, come on. Let me say oh, say oh, say oh, oh. Mr. Lover, lover, yeah, Mr. Lover, lover, yeah, Mr. Lover, lover, yeah, Mr. Lover, lover. Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Touch me, take me back, she says I'm Mr. Romantic, tell me fantastic. Touch me, take me back, she says I'm Mr. Let's go, hey, come on, let's go. Our next song is for all the angels in the house. Say 1, 2, 3. Alright, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Wasn't in my peace, you are to me, baby. Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need, baby. Love is on this party when you're still young. Who's gonna have your back when it's all done? It's all good when you live by your pure fun. Can't be a fool, son, one about the long run. Looking back, that's the obvious mention. Send me not giving her much attention. She was sent to my incarceration. I wanna show the nation my appreciation. Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Wasn't in my peace, you are to me, baby. Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need, baby. Love is one big party when you're still young. Who's gonna have your back when it's all done? It's all good when you live and you're pure fun. Can't be a fool, son, one about the long run. Looking back at the always salvation. Send me not giving her much attention. She was not through my incarceration. I wanna show the nation my appreciation. Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Wasn't in my peace, you are to me, baby. Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need. Alright, sing along with us, come on, let's go. Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling. Wasn't in my peeps, you are to me. Sing it! Girl, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need, baby. Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Wasn't in my peace, you are to me, baby. Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need, baby. Whoa! Thank you! Alright.
Infinity, everybody, with Shaggy's greatest hits. 3 of their greatest hits being displayed for you right here on Attenborough TV. I think they did a better job than Shaggy himself. Brilliantly delivered, brilliantly done. That band is tight. Well, don't go anywhere. We got Anjashira still coming up on this beautiful Thirsty Thursday, Throwback Thursday, Boozer Thursday. Straight after this commercial break.
You can do anything. All you need is determination. And a fresh pair of these, Nallies. But what's the point of looking like Injay game if all your money is on your feet? and your dreams go up in flames. In this world of doing it for Ikram, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
Welcome back, everybody. If you just joined us, you are currently watching Attenville TV. This is the Crack of Dawn show with myself, Kimera, Heeralal, as your host. And if you want to interact with us in studio today, please do so with the contact details at the bottom right of the screen, or you can use the bottom column where it says live chat. Now, everybody's about, say, 51 billion. No, I'm lying. Okay, so Elon Musk is basically, he's 51 years old, actually. And, if you look at it, he has seen his fortune tumble more than, $100 billion since January, right? So if you look at it, he's hitting about $168.5 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Now, if you look at it, Elon Musk, well, you could say once was worth as much as $340 billion. That's what it's worth, and has been placed as the world's richest person by Bernard Arnault. Now, Elon Musk, who is 51 years old, has seen his fortune tumble more and has been doing pretty well. Musk's fall from atop the rankings, the first time that's happened since he was number 2. Okay, and this was in September 2021 when he was actually number 2. He stayed at number 2 for quite some time. Now, this caps a tumultuous year for the frenetic billionaire, and he shocked the world in April with his offer to take Twitter private for $44 billion, as well as in brazen display of how the wealthiest individuals could wield their massive fortunes. Now, but his agreement now coincided with the Federal Reserve and other central banks embarking on their most aggressive round of monetary tightening in this generation, slashing the valuations of high-flying companies like Musk's Tesla Inc. Now, the electric car maker's stock is down more than 50% this year, so that'll make sure that he drops. So it's a bit sad there, but yeah. Musk actually tried for months to get out of the Twitter deal, but actually failed. Now, he offloaded more than $15 billion in Tesla shares, about $8.5 billion in April. Then another was $6.9 billion in August to raise enough cash to fund the purchase. Now, once he finalized the Twitter acquisition in October, the Bloomberg Wealth Index knocks $10 billion from his fortune. So reflecting that his shares of similar businesses have slumped since he made his bid. Now, Musk also has pledged to turn out the social media platform, but he faces several challenges and some of his own making, I might say. He blasted Apple Inc. and threatened to withhold Twitter from its app store at a time when other companies were already pulling their advertising from the site. So that was a bit of an ugly one. Now, meanwhile, Twitter is poised to face annual interest costs that exceed a measure of its earnings for all of 2021. Now, Musk bankers are considering providing him with new margin loans backed by Tesla, while Tesla stock to replace some of the high interest debt he layered on Twitter. This was Bloomberg's news that it was actually reported. So Elon Musk is sitting at number 2. You want to take a guess who's going to be number 1? Well, let's wait for December 25th to hit, and then we can actually tell you the full readings and reports. Richest people and richest men in the world. All right, as promised, I'm going to make you guys laugh a little bit. Auntie Sheila coming up next. Yeah, she actually teaches you or shares with you how people, you know how Indian people are when you go to a funeral, right? I mean, I'm Indian, right? And I come from a Hindu background. And let me just say, I hate funerals. Not necessarily, leave the main part where you lost someone close to you, okay? It's the part where you get to the funeral and people are like so dramatic. They're too far-fetched. I mean, Days of Our Lives and The Bold and the Beautiful don't even measure up to this drama. I mean, I hate when I go to an Indian funeral, especially because I'm from KZN, so it's even worse. So when you get to an Indian funeral, it's like, why you left me? You know, it's like so annoying. You know, we get that you're grieving, we get that you're hurting, but there's a way to behave. I mean, I know you're going through a lot, but damn, there's certain ways you just do not behave at a funeral. I hate the way, especially Indian people, they behave so disgustingly. Sometimes I'm like, I cannot bear because I can't tolerate this kind of behavior. It's like you have no morals, no values, no I can't tolerate it. I hate when people misbehave at a funeral. I mean, everybody's going through something and everybody has lost that special someone. It's not just you. Yeah, but anyway, here's Auntie Sheila giving you a good laugh about how people actually behave at funerals. Check out.
Oh, you, Vanakkam, welcome to Sheila again. Anyway, I just want to tell you a story, right? I went to one funeral the other day. Oh, you, what a bloody boring funeral. There was no entertainment whatsoever. And the best part is, how do you ever set the tone for a funeral? Eh? You tell me. You put the nice music. Not in the CD player. This funeral had CD player music. I like my Sangam group, my Tevaram group, because how they make us cry, right? They sing one song for the father, the mother died, one song for the mother. How we pull and cry, yeah? Oh, you, this one had all soft bhajans. Oh, you, what a peaceful funeral. I said, come on, Sushi, let's run away and go home. But that inspired me to make sure I teach you young girls about a funeral. Now, you know my sisters, right? We got Pushpa, we got Saras, and we got myself, right? Sheila. Now, we three assume important positions. The one daughter is the one that faints. The other daughter is the one that rolls on the floor. And the last daughter, the most dramatic, you can only imagine who, is the one that falls on the coffin and says, take me away. Now, what I always like is in the Tevaram. Now, I know people will say, oh, you, Deva, she's picking on the Tevaram. Let me tell you something. I'm a proper Tamil woman. I love my Tevaram. I'm a Adi Parasati devotee and I'm a Shiva devotee. So don't come here and say that I'm picking. I'm simply giving you all an example. Now, Tevaram is the best, man, in a funeral to set the tone. Now, the different cries I'm teaching your young girls, right? There's different songs with different pitches. That's how you must sing. You must cry, you must sing, you must do everything. So, the first one is, oh, you, my favorite, it's Muttinari. You know how it goes? It goes like this. Muttinari ariyade mukarado. You can hear that. You can hear that. How you must cry in a funeral, right? So when they go, you must go, Muttinari That's the first one. Now the next one is the high-pitched one. Now this is the Veyora Thoda Bangan song. You know how they go, Veyora Thoda Bange Veramana. And then you can hear the pitch. Oh, you must go. That's why when they go, Veyora Thodi Bange. You can see, that's how you do it. And the final is the finale, my favorite. That's when you freestyle. That's when you kick, you throw your powder down, you go, Om Namah Shivaya, Om. That's when you go, you see, that way we have a very exciting funeral. Nowadays, they're putting cassette and taking away all the fun. So young girls, that's how you do a funeral, all right?
Auntie Sheila kills me. I don't know what she does to you, but she makes my morning every single morning. Thank you so much, Auntie Sheila. That was Auntie Sheila, how to behave at funerals. Did you guys learn something? Kimera coming in on YouTube. Sorry, guys. Oh, God. Okay. So, Kimera says, did you know that you can hire a group of mourners to actually cry at a funeral? Really? I wouldn't pay people to do that. Would you, Auntie Kim? Oh my God. You know what? I'm already feeling sad. I don't want people now coming and acting. No. No, man. Auntie Sheila killed me. There's Kim Panachi laughing her bumsies off at home. You know what? It's so true. You know, especially that part where the body is leaving the funeral. You know what I'm talking about, right, guys? Okay, so you know that part where okay, everything is done. You know, the whole ceremony and all of that, and then the part where the guys all come together and they're coming out and taking the body out, and the Basita Om Namah Shivaya Om, and then you just hear the Sheila, you killed it. All right. Now, when it's Shivaratri, I would like to know, what does Auntie Sheila actually do? Is that coming up next, director? Is that coming up next? Director? Oh, he says no, it's not coming up next. Okay, I thought he was actually going to. Thank you so much for that, director. All right, Andy Pura joining in the conversation this morning here at Actonville TV. Thank you so much. For those of you who just watched the show and are watching for the very first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already. Please join us again tomorrow, same time, same place. We're going to do this again. Yeah? Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah, Friday. So don't forget, we also go live tonight at 7 p.m. Tonight's show is not, it's not like the Crack of Dawn where we have Auntie Sheila killing it, but she will be a part of the show, I hope, whenever she does her spiritual stuff. She is a bit funny, a little bit vulgar, especially when she uses the word A. She's quite funny. I admire her. She's also a Tamil person. So yeah, join us tonight on The Journey Show. It's a show about exploring Hinduism as a whole. You can interact with us live there. Please excuse me, everybody. Got a bit of an itchy throat. Okay, so join us tonight on The Journey, 7 p.m. to 8 every single weekday with myself, Kimera, Heeralal. You can interact with us. You don't have to be a Hindu to watch the show. It's about us educating those who don't know much about Hinduism. So yeah, join us tonight. It's going to be epic. It's going to be live, and it's going to be with myself. Well, enjoy the rest of your Throwback Thursday, your Poolside Thursday, your Thirsty Thursday, and have a blast. Have a blast for your festive season. Don't forget, stay safe wherever you go, whatever you do. Enjoy the rest of your day. From myself, Kimera Heeralal. Bye bye for now.